So I'm going to talk about MS files and how to edit those. If you wanted to run, for example, a full scan and a SIR or an MRM, any of these MS modes at the same time, you can program using the MS file window here. So what I'll do is I'll right-click on that cell, click Edit, and it'll bring up the experiment setup window. So right now what we have is a full scan, MS scan, from 0 to 3,000 minutes, so basically until I stop it, and my range is 200 to 1,500 Daltons in negative ion mode. But for now, we'll just get rid of that. So as you can see up here, these are all of your functions that you'll want to run. SIR is basically a method to sit on one or several masses and just scan that. Not looking for any fragments, but looking just at that mass window. So for example, I could be looking for my palladium complex with 2 ligands bound. I could punch in its mass, let's say it's 608.1, and I can give it an amount of time to dwell on, or I can tell the system to just automatically choose its dwell time based on however many compounds I choose to add at the bottom. Maybe I want to add another compound, another compound, and another compound. This is all embedded in the same SIR file. What I can do is pick another mass, and another mass. And now it's going to be looking for these 4 compounds. I'm just going to get rid of this last row here. And
what does span mean?
Span, yeah. So over here I've got selections for my ionization mode. I'm looking at these in the positive ion mode here. Span is how wide the mass window is. So for the mass 501 with a span of 1, it's going to be going to 500.5 and 501.5. So it's going to be sitting on that mass window. If I wanted to get it opened up wider, I can just tell it to have a span of 5, for example. Remember that it's divided by 2, the actual mass window, right? So this is plus or minus 2.5 mass units above, or sorry, plus 2.5 mass units above, minus 2.5 mass units below. But
so if you have a metal in there with a lot of isotopes, you're going to want to cover all of that.
If you had a metal with, say, 5 isotopes on either side, you'd probably want to set that span to 10. But remember that that's going to be for each one of these compounds. So if you wanted to do a span of 10 just for, say, your metal complex, you would want to get rid of these guys and make a separate SIR that has a smaller span, just for an example. We can tell it to use the tune page cone voltage, so that's what we have set up, or we can select our own cone voltage over here. So we want 15 for that compound and 32 for this compound. Here on the retention window, this is just how long it's going to be scanning these for. Usually I'll just have this set from 0 to a large number so that it's doing the scan throughout the entire run. When I'm happy with these settings, I just click OK. Oh. 0 and 2, what is that for? Okay. So maybe I don't just want to do an SIR, maybe I want to do a full scan as well. What I can do is select MS scan, and this is your typical just standard full scan mode. Maybe I want to go from 50 to 1,000 in negative ion mode, and I want to do a continuum spectrum. I can select my scan time and my start and end time as well, and let's say I just use the tune page voltage. So that's just a very basic setup for a full scan. Now you'll notice that the time scales here are overlapping, so you see I have an SIR that's running from 0 to 3,000. I have an MS scan, full scan, is going from 0 to 3,000. So what it's going to do, in order, is this for 10 milliseconds, and then switch over to this one, and this will take 2 seconds. And I think the interscan time might be set to something like 0.1 seconds. So this will be 10 milliseconds, 0.1 second interscan time, move to this method, 0.1 second interscan time, and back up to this, and it will switch between these two as the reaction, or as the sample is running. I can add as many of these as I want. Say I want to do a full scan in positive ion mode as well, also a 2-second scan time, and it'll just pop up below. I can adjust the order of these things too if I really wanted to, but it doesn't really matter too much. So it will just bounce between these and then restart back above and continue to walk through them. So once I'm happy with these settings, I can just save that, close it. Clicking on Browse here, I can select between one of my MS methods. And when I'm ready to run, I just click on the sample and click play.